Sandy, Sandra Rodriguez, and I'm super happy because today we have a book author with us. His name is Michael Sims. How are you, Mike?
I am great. Thank you for having me.
Well, I have to say, Mike, that I feel that right now, given that we're all indoors and in our homes, it's a great time to be a writer. It's a great time to be a book author because people are rediscovering the joy of reading. It's a wonderful way to keep ourselves entertained and to keep our minds busy. And I do know that you're the author of both a book series and a standalone book. Could you let us know a little bit more about your books, Michael?
Absolutely. I write the series, Vicky series, which is an ongoing series of 6 books, and 3 are published right now, and number four is about to come out. And Vicky is an indomitable character. She's an abuse victim from her teens that has become physically and mentally powerful, and dispenses her ironic brand of justice on the things that are wrong in the world, while the life is pushing her, corralling her to her destiny. And this, um, it's a, I've had a lot of interesting people help me collaborate on this, and including a top NASA scientist for some of the characters. It's, yeah, I've gotten a lot of feedback on it. And originally I wrote Victim and published it. And when Vicky is in her kind of in her middle years, and everybody wanted to know more, so it ended up becoming a series after that.
That is fascinating. Now, I have to ask you, who was the reader you had in mind when you were starting off with this book series? Who is your ideal reader?
Well, it's I've wrote a lot of short stories since my teens, and this story came as a short story in 2005, and I wanted to. It was supposed to be an ironic, dark comedy, but it was written, it ended up changing and turning dramatic, and ended a whole lot different than I expected. And so I looked at it, I realized this is too big for a short story. This is a novel, and it's a very powerful novel. And so, but I didn't know, I've never published a book, didn't know what I was doing. And I went and I tried to, I shelved it for about 8 years. And then finally it came to me how to write it. And it took about 2 years to write it. And I went and I looked up about 500 literary agents, was turned down by all of them, and ended up with Tate Publishing. They published it, and then I ended up publishing everybody, like I say, everybody wanted to know more. So I started writing the prequels, how she got started. And it was Vicky and then Valkyrie. And Tate, they fell into a number of legal issues. So they abandoned 30,000 authors. So I ended up self-publishing and taking my works and starting on my own. And I started Southern Cross, which Easter eggs Vicky in her later years as a surprise. But Southern Cross is an all-age appropriate book. And but the Vicky series is a hard-hitting drama. And I've had
That's very fascinating. I think that I understand that you're interested in having it made into a series or a movie, perhaps making your book series go from the page to the screen. How are you pitching your storyline to people that might be able to produce it?
Well, my good friend Nicole Andani is VP of Marketing of Northern Theater TV company. She handles ShamWow products and a lot of people. She just adored the story, and she's been evangelizing and trying to get into a TV series. And so we teamed up in doing that. And as I published different versions in different languages, I met an actress by the name of Lenny Rico, a Spanish actress that wanted to narrate Vicky in Spanish. She did, and she fell in love with it. and took it to a friend of hers named producer, longtime Hollywood producer named Barney Cohen.
Well, that sounds wonderful.
And
That,
he's done Guernica and Sabrina the Teenage Witch and a number of things. And he looked at the stories and he
that
decided.
sounds wonderful.
So it's just been progressing. And now I've got Cindy Morgan from Caddyshack and Tron, and Jack O'Halloran from Superman 2 movie have joined the team. So it's building.
Yes, that's wonderful. And we really hope to see it on the screen sooner rather than later. It sounds like a very healing series of books, books that even if you cannot relate very specifically to what the main character has been through, I think everybody has been in situations that have been challenging. And certainly I think that your book series will be very healing to many.
Yes, I've had some letters from people that have told me that it was like reading their life. I had one actress that she came off set and she was going to read the first chapter, and she ended up reading the entire book, Vicky book, all night long, and she was just floored. So I've been.
I also wanted to ask you, Mike, it seems to me that you might have insight for people that are aspiring writers, aspiring book authors, and that are obviously home at this point in time. Do you have any pointers that you could give them, any advice that you might give somebody that wants to get into writing or publishing eventually?
Absolutely. It's definitely, writing is definitely a mountain to climb, but you can't look at the top of it. You just got to start climbing, and just start working, just start moving. Don't worry about it being technically perfect. I mean, I'm not technically a great writer. I can always consider myself an okay storyteller, but everything is edited and cleared up in the end. Just tell your story, and don't worry about opinions. Don't worry about rejections. You're going to get negative reviews. It's going to happen. But for every writer, there's a reader. So,
right, yes. Mm-hmm. Now, I wanted to ask you, what was your specific system? Because it seems to me that a lot of people have so much trouble completing one book. How did you manage to complete a book series? Did you write every day, block out specific periods of time, or just work on the books whenever you had a little time here or there? Or what was your system to actually be able to complete not one, not two, but a full series of books?
well, the first book, when it first came to me, the entire life of Vicky laid out before me. So I chose the time frame of what section of life the first book was going to take. And because I only intended to write one book, and that was going to be it, and it was going to be that section. And but like I said, the entire life was there, and it did evolve and progress as the story went along. And even in the upcoming books, strangely enough, Vicky deals with a pandemic like we have here. And it's really odd because a lot of things that are happening in this pandemic is what I had envisioned years ago in writing the series.
Total foreshadowing. That's amazing. Well, that makes me even more excited to read about everything Vicky. Where can we get more information on the Vicky books, or where can we buy them?
If you look on you can go on my website, which is mazzaroth.net, MAZZAROTH.net, or you can look on Amazon anywhere. Just look up Vicky and my name, Mike Sims, and you'll find them. It's I'm everywhere.
That's wonderful, Mike. Well, I really look forward to reading all of the series, and this is the perfect time to do so. To all of our Hollywood friends out there, Heart of Hollywood friends, this is the perfect time to dive into the Vicky books and Mike's standalone book, Southern Cross. So, like he was saying, you can find them either on his own website or anywhere books are sold. Mike, thank you so much for joining us today. What message would you like to give our Heart of Hollywood friends?
It's if you're looking for a compelling story, this is what I have to offer. and it's I'm getting a lot of good feedback to it and a lot of heartfelt feedback. And I've everybody that writes me tells me this should be on screen. So.
And I absolutely agree. I hope it will be soon because I do want to see that on the screen. But honestly, I'm just looking forward to getting to read your book series as books starting tonight. I mean, it sounds like a wonderful series. It's exciting about the foreshadowing. You might have a bit of a crystal ball, I think. And it was just wonderful to have you here today, Mike.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. And to all our Heart of Hollywood friends, remember that if you are a film producer, first and foremost, right now, Heart of Hollywood is offering a possibility for distribution through our new streaming platform. And also, there is a contest for filmmakers going on as well. This will be held online. It will be a film festival, also to be held online. Please log on to the Heart of Hollywood website for additional information on both of these topics. Thank you.